has made Sean Combs a little bit nervous.
To me on that, when you said, yeah, he looked like the gay homie, I didn't know what you were talking about.
Stop. Then he was like, yo, so when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we could just hang out. We gotta kick it. This is Puff. Okay. He telling me we gotta kick it, and he was like, yo, why don't we like go shopping? I mean, like I pay for it. And I was like,
This is a dirty game. Sean Diddy Combs hissed fiercely, his voice trembling with rage, his hands gripping the edge of the defendant's table, sending a shudder through the silent courtroom in New York in May 2025.
Something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know
He did it.
you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it.
Just minutes earlier, Diddy had entered with a facade of confidence, his icy gaze masking the loneliness of having not a single family member by his side. Not one of Diddy's relatives showed up, not even his adopted son, once his pride and joy, leaving him to face the shadows of his past alone. Who could have imagined that the music mogul, once seen as invincible, would be pushed to the brink of collapse, not by the FBI, not by the victims who spoke out, but by an old enemy who never relents, 50 Cent.
Go out to the prison and will you visit him just for funsies?
I don't know. Look, because you think that right now he can feel like I'm his enemy.
Wait, right now, wait, what? Yeah,
why would you feel that way?
And it wasn't through a recording, something that had already set headlines ablaze, but through an abstract painting with blood-red streaks and faint symbols, once hung in Diddy's mansion, that left the entire courtroom stunned. The painting, valued at $21.1 million, was unveiled by 50 Cent with the caption, "Real art speaks for itself," hinting at secrets from Diddy's infamous parties, attended by those closest to him. That day's hearing was initially seen as a routine legal procedure in Diddy's ongoing series of cases. Those present, from reporters to spectators, expected to witness a composed Diddy, shielded by his high-priced legal team, effortlessly navigating the prosecution's questions. But the courtroom's atmosphere turned suffocating when the plaintiff's attorney stood up, voice resolute, announcing the presentation of an unexpected piece of evidence. An abstract painting that had once hung quietly in the mansion where Diddy's family gathered, now unearthed to expose secrets that even his loved ones could not conceal. This object, according to preliminary analysis, was indirectly linked to one of Diddy's notorious white parties, with a faint inscription, "For her," hidden within the streaks of color, suggesting a connection to the mogul's adopted son, who bore the pain of losing his mother after discovering Kim Porter's diary, revealing dark secrets. No one knew exactly what it was, but the name behind this revelation sent chills through the courtroom, 50 Cent. With his unmistakable style, 50 Cent delivered a devastating blow in a way that no one, not even Diddy, could have anticipated. That moment not only shook the foundations of Diddy's empire, but also opened a dramatic new chapter, promising to unveil secrets never before exposed.
I don't have a support system of or a peer group of artists that I require to do what I'm doing. I've had to be on my own from the beginning. So I don't necessarily have a responsibility to behave a certain way, according to them.
In an Instagram post, 50 Cent dropped a media bombshell, an abstract painting with blood-red streaks and a faint inscription reading, "For her," once hung in Diddy's mansion, the site of his infamous white parties. His caption, "Real art speaks for itself," came with a hint: someone close decided the truth must speak. The post went viral on X with the hashtag #TheTalkingPainting, sparking speculation that someone close to Diddy, lurking in the shadows, was collaborating with 50 Cent to expose dark secrets from the white parties. Netizens dissected every detail from the inscription "RB" to a faint silhouette, turning the painting into a symbol of defiance. The painting, with its chaotic swaths of color and strange shapes, had once been regarded by the Los Angeles art scene as a symbol of unrestrained creativity. For a decade, it was merely mentioned as part of Diddy's lavish lifestyle, briefly appearing in articles about high society aesthetics. But 50 Cent, with his keen instincts, handed the painting to prosecutors, transforming it into a legal weapon. He passed it to a team of forensic image analysts who began noticing anomalies. The abstract lines seemed to carry hidden meanings, from tiny symbols to deliberately placed faint silhouettes. One expert speculated that the painting, with its RB marking and "For her" inscription, might have been created by a witness linked to Roger Bonds, someone who observed shady dealings at Diddy's white parties, though more time was needed to decode its hidden significance. Prosecutors suggested the painting hinted at witness coercion, akin to the 200 calls Diddy made, News of the painting began spreading across social media, with 50 Cent's posts implying that the truth is closing in, heightening curiosity and pressure on Diddy ahead of the trial.
I got to get into the real estate in the area to be able to facilitate what happens after big events happen. You've seen some of the good things that Tyler Perry done in Atlanta, and you'll see.
In a stifling courtroom, a heavy atmosphere enveloped the proceedings as Diddy's trial entered a critical phase where 50 Cent, through his legal team, unleashed the painting to reveal secrets about the white parties. Diddy appeared with a facade of confidence, his anxious gaze scanning the empty seats where not a single family member, not even his adopted son, was present amid rumors of his family fracturing over inheritance disputes. His legal team, composed of top legal minds, sat upright, ready to counter any move from the prosecution. No one expected that a surprise piece of evidence would shake Diddy's carefully crafted armor that day. The prosecutor stood, voice resolute. "We present a new piece of evidence, a work of art once publicly displayed, but potentially concealing clues about the defendant's conduct." The courtroom fell silent, and Diddy's brow furrowed slightly, his eyes darting to his lawyer as if trying to anticipate what awaited him. A large screen was set up, displaying the painting with its tangled swaths of color. The prosecutor, aided by an image analysis expert, began a preliminary presentation. They pointed out that details in the painting, such as the part here inscription and the RB marking matching a witness's handwriting, seemed to recreate secrets from Diddy's white parties, where illegal activities were concealed. However, they emphasized that the decoding process was ongoing, and the painting was only the first step in uncovering larger secrets. The courtroom buzzed with whispers, reporters scribbled furiously, and the jury exchanged curious glances. Diddy, who had always maintained an air of invincibility, began to lose his composure. He leaned forward, whispering urgently to his lawyer, his eyes fixed on the screen. When the prosecutor hinted that someone close, harboring painful secrets, might have provided the painting to incriminate Diddy, he could no longer hide his unease. He clenched his fists, his gaze wavering, as if haunted by an unexpected betrayal. "Who brought this out?" he muttered, his voice low but laced with suspicion, as if suddenly realizing a trusted confidant might have turned against him. The judge banged the gavel, demanding order, but Diddy continued, pointing at the prosecutor. 50 Cent is trying to destroy me.
When you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said,
let me read it.
His lawyers quickly pulled him back to his seat, but the outburst had exposed his panic. The painting, though not yet fully decoded, had sown unease in Diddy. It suggested that secrets he thought were buried might be surfacing, not through testimony or physical evidence, but through something he once proudly displayed. As the trial adjourned, Diddy left the courtroom with a tense expression, his eyes vacant, as if sensing that this painting was just the beginning of a larger storm. At the prosecution's table, a forensic image analyst, introduced as a former FBI collaborator, took the stand. With a calm, steady voice, he decoded each detail of the painting, every word landing like a hammer blow to Diddy's confidence. A faint silhouette in the bottom left corner, its arm raised as if issuing a command, was speculated by the expert to symbolize a figure of authority, possibly the defendant himself. He emphasized, his gaze sweeping toward Diddy. A series of tiny, nearly invisible symbols, magnified on the screen, revealed a sequence of numbers matching the date of a notorious white party in 2012, where allegations of illegal conduct had once circulated in the media. A curving streak of vivid red, flowing like blood, was interpreted as a representation of violence or harm, prompting some jurors to furrow their brows. But the most shocking detail was the RB marking, which the expert speculated could be linked to Roger Bonds, a former bodyguard of Diddy's who vanished after revealing secrets about the white parties. "We believe this painting may have been created by someone who witnessed events within the defendant's circle of power, concealing secrets yet to be decoded," the expert concluded. Diddy, seated at the defendant's table, tried to maintain his composure, but his hands clenched into fists, his gold ring glinting under the courtroom lights. Sweat beaded on his forehead despite the cool air of the room. His legal team, led by a renowned female attorney nicknamed the Destroyer, immediately rose to object. With an icy voice, she demanded the judge dismiss the evidence, calling the painting a legal farce. "This is merely a piece of art, Your Honor," she declared, pointing at the screen. "There is no concrete evidence linking this painting to any illegal activity. The prosecution is deliberately misleading the jury with baseless speculation." Another lawyer added, his deep voice laced with defiance.
Absolutely, and I'm sure the judge really looked into that because although we know that these are allegations, there's been no evidentiary hearing as to whether or not these actually rise to the level of obstruction. Just the idea that he is not even following the rules that are enlisted by the prison is already a sign to the judge that he may not follow any conditions that are set forth. And so those type of allegations, whether or not there's been an evidentiary hearing, just speaks to the actions of the individual while incarcerated.
The RD marking could refer to anyone, an artist, a designer, or just a random detail. The prosecution has no direct witness to substantiate these allegations. The judge, a middle-aged man with a stern face, banged his gavel to restore order, his sharp eyes scanning both sides. "I will review the admissibility of this evidence," he declared, "but the prosecution may continue its presentation." The prosecution remained unfazed. They played a video clip from a 2014 television program where a camera panned across the living room of Diddy's mansion, the painting prominently displayed on the wall. Diddy himself, with a radiant smile, had spoken to the camera, "This piece is my memory. It tells the story of my journey." Those words, once a boast, now became a devastating blow. The prosecutor turned to the jury, emphasizing the defendant didn't just know about the painting. He commissioned it, took pride in it, and now it's turning against him. The courtroom held its breath, all eyes fixed on Diddy. He could no longer maintain his calm. His hands trembled and he shot to his feet, the wooden chair crashing backward with a loud thud, interrupting the presentation. "This is a fake," he shouted, his voice breaking, echoing through the room. "This painting isn't real. You're trying to smear me." His face flushed red, deep lines etched across his forehead, his eyes blazing with panic. He slammed his hand on the table, the sharp sound startling a juror. "This is 50 Cent's doing. He wants to destroy me," he roared, pointing at the prosecutor. Diddy's lawyers hurriedly stood, trying to pull him back to his seat. "Sean, calm down," one whispered urgently. But Diddy ignored them. He continued, his voice shaking, "I didn't do anything wrong. That painting is just art, not evidence." The judge banged his gavel repeatedly, his voice stern. "Mr. Combs, I demand you maintain order or I will be forced to take stronger measures." Diddy, panting heavily, reluctantly sat down, but his eyes flickered, as if searching for an escape. Reporters in the back row typed frantically on their laptops, knowing this moment would make headlines. The jury, from middle-aged to younger members, looked at Diddy with a mix of curiosity and suspicion, as if witnessing the collapse of a once mighty statue. As the light from the courtroom windows faded, the judge's gavel still echoed, but the audience's attention drifted from the abstract painting and Sean Diddy Combs' outburst. A quiet question permeated the stifling air: who had delivered the painting to 50 Cent and why? The prosecutor, with a measured voice, planted a seed of doubt as they concluded their presentation. This evidence didn't come from a distant enemy. It came from someone who once called the defendant family. Those words, like a bolt of light piercing the darkness, drew every gaze to the empty seats behind Diddy, where not a single relative was present. In that moment, the trial seemed to pivot, no longer just a legal battle between Diddy and 50 Cent, but a story of a fractured family where dark secrets and the pain of loss were silently shaping a vengeful conspiracy. In the shadows of suspicion, the name Justin Combs, Diddy's adopted son, quietly emerged, not through testimony or the spotlight, but through painful memories of his mother, Kim Porter, and a profound motive to make the man who caused his mother's suffering pay, no matter the cost. In a luxurious apartment tucked away in the heart of the city, neon lights cast a dim glow on glass walls as Justin Combs sat silently, his somber eyes fixed on the vibrant skyline. At 31, Justin was the epitome of glamour, cutting-edge style, a regular presence at lavish events, and a seemingly perfect life under the shadow of his adoptive father, Diddy. But beneath that facade, he carried an unhealed wound, the pain of losing his mother, Kim Porter, the woman who had been the center of his world. Kim, a talented model and actress, was not only Diddy's longtime partner, but also Justin's emotional anchor. She tirelessly raised him, always smiling despite the pressures of life, beside a music mogul. But Justin also witnessed moments when his mother quietly wept, her eyes filled with fear when mentioning Diddy, and times she left the mansion at night, only to return with a weary face. "Mom always said I had to be strong," Justin once recalled, his voice choking in a rare interview, "but I didn't know what she was fighting against." Kim's sudden death in 2018, officially attributed to pneumonia, left Justin with an unfillable void and a haunting question: Was Diddy the powerful man who promised to protect their family, the reason for his mother's suffering and untimely departure? Kim Porter was more than a mother, she was a symbol of resilience. In Justin's eyes, she was the woman who sacrificed everything to raise him and his siblings, despite the cracks in her relationship with Diddy. He remembered nights when she sat by his bedside, sharing her dreams, only to end with a melancholic remark. "There are things I can't tell you, Justin." When Diddy appeared in the tabloids with other women, from young starlets to fleeting flings, Kim remained silent, hiding her pain to shield her children. Justin, though young, sensed the injustice. "Mom deserved to be happy," he once muttered, clutching a family photo in their old room. When Kim passed away, Justin, then only 24, was devastated. He couldn't believe that his mother, always healthy, died from pneumonia. Rumors began swirling in the entertainment world. Some of Kim's friends whispered that she had uncovered Diddy's dark secrets, from freak-off parties to shady dealings. A confidant of Kim's once told Justin, "Your mom knew too much, and that made her a threat." Though lacking proof, those words planted a seed of doubt in Justin's mind, driving him to seek the truth. Doubt about his mother's death, like a smoldering flame, transformed Justin from a young man basking in the limelight into someone with a mission. He began sifting through his mother's keepsakes, from old letters to diaries Kim left in their Los Angeles room. In one diary entry, written in trembling handwriting, Kim wrote, "He never stops. Those parties, they're not just parties."
We used to go to when we go to the club, we used to have these bottles, right? And on this bottle, they be regular Moet bottles. On them bottles right there, they've been to have something to make the girls be real slippery and all of this kind of stuff. So when you get up, they be like, "Don't touch them bottles right there."
"I'm afraid one day the truth will kill me." Those words, like a knife, left Justin trembling. He recalled times his mother left the mansion after arguments with Diddy, her eyes filled with fear. "Mom knew something," Justin muttered, gripping the diary, but he didn't act immediately. As an adopted son, Justin lived in Diddy's shadow, enjoying wealth, but also under pressure to remain loyal. He knew confronting his adoptive father meant losing everything: fame, fortune, and safety. Yet, when Diddy's legal troubles erupted with allegations of sex trafficking, blackmail, and abuse, Justin saw an opportunity. A question echoed in his mind: if Mom knew the truth, why can't I carry on her work? That question led Justin to a bold decision to secretly collaborate with one of Diddy's enemies, none other than 50 Cent. But Justin didn't step into the spotlight. He chose to operate in the shadows, providing clues only someone close could know, allowing 50 Cent, with his influence and audacity, to bring the truth to light. A small but crucial detail emerged when investigators analyzed the painting 50 Cent introduced at the trial, the RB. Marking on the painting, believed to be linked to Roger Bonds, Diddy's former bodyguard, matched the code of an old safe in Diddy's studio. From that safe, a small box containing a hard drive full of documents and footage was anonymously sent to 50 Cent's office. The prosecution, without revealing the source, emphasized that the box came from someone with a deeply personal connection to the defendant. A message on the hard drive, written in shaky handwriting, bore the phrase, "For her," sending chills through the courtroom audience. Who wrote that phrase, and why did it echo Kim's diary? Speculation spread on X with the hashtag #TheTalkingPainting, suggesting the box's provider could be a member of Diddy's family, driven by grief and a motive unrelated to wealth. The box became the case's centerpiece, not only for its contents, but for the story behind it. The prosecution revealed that the hard drive contained evidence of Diddy using shell companies to fund freak-off parties, along with threatening messages sent to victims, including Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend. A short video, filmed at a mansion in 2017, showed Diddy in a heated argument with a woman believed to be Kim Porter. Though the audio was faint, one of Kim's lines rang clear: "You can't keep hiding this." The prosecutor posed a question: did Kim know something so dangerous it made her a threat? They didn't name Justin, but hinted that the video's provider understood its value to the case. Justin, with memories of nights his mother left the mansion, may have found the video among Kim's keepsakes or even recorded tense moments between her and Diddy. But how did Justin obtain the video, and why did he choose to send it to 50 Cent? The answer may lie in another detail. Justin is believed to have quietly protected Cassie Ventura, who was preparing to testify against Diddy. Cassie, a key witness, had become a target for Diddy. Call logs from the Metropolitan Detention Center showed Diddy made hundreds of calls to intimidate or bribe her, including a $10,000 payment to withdraw her lawsuit. But Cassie, supported by a secret source, remained resolute in testifying. The prosecution revealed that Cassie received protection from someone close to Diddy's family, who provided videos and messages to bolster her testimony. Who was behind this protection, and why did they risk confronting Diddy? Some sources speculated that Justin, bearing the pain of watching his mother suffer, contacted Cassie through an intermediary, supplying evidence to ensure her safety. A message on the hard drive reading "Let her tell the truth" was believed to refer to Cassie, fueling suspicions that Justin was quietly aiding from the shadows. But was Justin doing this for Cassie or for his mother? The answer may lie in his love for Kim, who was once Cassie's close friend before her passing. While 50 Cent took center stage in the media, publicizing the box and painting with provocative Instagram posts, Justin chose silence. He didn't appear at the trial, respond to interviews, or engage with X posts speculating about his role. But that silence, in many eyes, was a powerful statement. Why didn't Justin speak out if he was innocent? Some believed he was waiting for the right moment, when the evidence became undeniable. Others thought Justin, with a heart full of grief, sought neither fame nor attention. He only wanted Diddy to pay. A viral X post read, "Diddy's adopted son is playing a bigger game. This isn't about money, it's about revenge." Though no direct evidence existed, the detail that the box was sent from a Los Angeles address where Justin resides heightened suspicions. The prosecution, with caution, emphasized the evidence provider isn't seeking wealth or power, they're seeking justice for someone they loved. Those words, like an arrow, pierced Diddy's veneer of power, causing him to bow his head, his eyes filled with panic.
Well, it's not up to me. It's up to Mr. Combs, and I don't see it happening.
Why?
Because he believes he's innocent. He believes he's innocent, and what's more, he believes that he needs to stand up, not just for himself, for his family, and for everybody who's been targeted by the federal government.
Suspicions about Justin were further reinforced by the rift in Diddy's family. While Diddy's children squabbled over his empire, from bad boy entertainment shares to multi-million-dollar real estate, Justin seemed to stand apart. A close source revealed that Justin refused to join family meetings about inheritance, angering his siblings. "Justin doesn't care about money," the source said. "He only talks about his mom." Why did Justin reject wealth when he could easily claim a share? The answer may lie in his motive not to seize Diddy's empire, but to dismantle it as retribution for the years his mother suffered. Kim's diary, with its entries about dangerous parties and betrayal, may have spurred Justin to act. But how did he find the diary, and why choose 50 Cent as an ally? One theory is that Justin, through an intermediary, contacted 50 Cent knowing he was Diddy's unrelenting enemy, bold enough to publicize evidence. The covert collaboration between Justin and 50 Cent, though speculative, created a gripping narrative. 50 Cent, with a history of clashing with Diddy, didn't hesitate to use the box to topple his rival. But he was careful not to reveal the source, posting only vague hints on Instagram. Someone decided the truth needs to speak. Why didn't 50 Cent disclose the provider's identity if he knew it was Justin? Some believed he was protecting Justin, allowing him to continue operating in the shadows. Others thought 50 Cent kept the mystery to amplify media intrigue. Whatever the reason, the box shook the case, leaving Diddy's legal team cornered. They tried to argue the hard drive's documents were fabricated, but the prosecution countered with evidence that the messages matched Diddy's call history. But who could access that history if not someone close? That question, hanging in the courtroom, made Diddy's gaze waver, as if he suspected his own family. In this context, Roger Bonds, Diddy's former bodyguard, became a crucial piece of the puzzle. Bonds, who had supported Cassie and publicly opposed Diddy, vanished from social media after receiving threats. The prosecution speculated that the RB marking on the painting could be Bonds' handwriting, who had documented freak-off party details before disappearing. But how did the marking end up on the painting, and who delivered it to 50 Cent? One theory is that Justin, with access to Diddy's old studio, found Bonds' notes, possibly kept by Kim as a safeguard. But why did Kim keep those notes, and why did Justin act now? The answer may lie in his pain. Witnessing his mother live in fear, betrayed by the man she loved, Justin resolved to carry on her legacy, using evidence to shatter Diddy's wall of silence. As the trial recessed, the image of Diddy leaving the courtroom, shoulders slumped and eyes vacant, became a symbol of a crumbling empire. But the real story lay in what he didn't see: a loved one, bearing the pain of losing a mother, silently rewriting his fate. Justin, though absent, seemed present in every case detail, from for her inscription on the painting to the message on the heart. Was Justin truly behind it all, or merely a pawn in 50 Cent's game? That question, spreading across X with thousands of posts, sowed doubts about a fractured family where love and betrayal intertwined. As city lights twinkled outside Justin's apartment, he sat quietly, clutching his mother's photo as if whispering, "Mom, I did the right thing." And somewhere 50 Cent with a triumphant smile knew that truth, like art, always finds a way to speak. The story of the abstract painting 50 Cent and the suspicion surrounding Diddy's family in the trial is not merely a dramatic chapter of a legal case, but a mirror reflecting profound values of truth, responsibility, and the power of a community's voice, particularly within the context of Black culture. The painting, with its blood-red streaks and enigmatic RB inscription, transcended its role as a work of art to become a symbol of hidden stories, a reminder that the past cannot remain forever framed behind a veneer of glamour. 50 Cent's action in publicizing the painting on Instagram was not just an attack but a rallying cry, igniting unity in the community to confront the dark corners of power. The doubts about the silence of Diddy's family raised questions about loyalty and responsibility, not to condemn but to provoke reflection on safeguarding truth, even when it is painful. From the courtroom to social media, this story etched a universal truth. Truth, though stifled by wealth or fame, always finds a way to shine when people dare to listen and act. The perspective of this story lies not in judging an individual, but in celebrating the strength of the Black community in using art, media, and courage to reclaim their voice. The #the talking painting was not just an online phenomenon, but a banner for those once forced into silence, from the victims in the case to those who have fought for justice throughout history. It serves as a reminder that Black culture, with its rich legacy of resilience, always finds ways to transform pain into strength, much like the red streaks on the painting narrate a story of survival. A Black journalist's commentary resonates: "We don't just tell our story, we paint it, and every stroke is a declaration." This story also underscores that responsibility lies not only with those who commit wrongs, but also with those who choose silence, whether family or associates, setting a new standard for loyalty to truth above all. Yet the story does not stop at praising courage. It invites us to look deeper within ourselves, at the paintings in our own lives, memories, secrets, or choices we hang up to conceal. If a single streak of color can shake an empire, what lies waiting in the hidden corners of our own existence? Are we each holding a talking painting, ready to speak when the time comes? This question is not just for Diddy, but for everyone reading, urging us to ask, when truth knocks, will you open the door or continue to frame it behind a wall of silence?